All right, good morning, everybody. It is Jay again, and today we're going to be talking about citrus and watering and feeding those trees. I've got a lot of people here in Arizona that believe that citrus are a desert shrub and that they don't need a whole lot of water to exist. And that, in fact, I guess is sort of true in a way, that if you don't want any fruit on them ever, then you don't really have to water them. But when it comes to getting fruit on these trees, you want to make sure that they have a lot of extra food and water. Now, what do I mean by extra water? So this client actually happens to be the one that waters the most. So this client waters 20 minutes for 3 times a day, every single day, winter, summer, it doesn't really matter. And man, I can literally barely lift some of these branches because of the amount of fruit that are on them. Let me see if I can, oh God. Oh my gosh. And what's funny too is this tree, you don't really see a lot of fruit because it hides a lot of its fruit underneath the branches. And this is the sun side, meaning this side they're going to be a little bit less fruit and a little bit smaller. But look at the size of these still. These things are just enormous. And there's so much fruit on this tree, it is actually dragging itself completely down to the ground. I really don't know how a person would eat this much fruit. Oh my gosh, just dragging huge clusters of fruit out of here. Do you see these guys? It's amazing too how much weight that these branches will hold. Look at this. I'm not even sure if I can pick this one up. Let's see. Oh God. That's got to be around 100 pounds on each one of these little branches. They're just strained completely. I don't know how it ever does it, but yeah, guys, if you just dig just barely into this tree, oh my gosh, just enormous clusters of fruit. This is wild. Let's get over here to the shade side. So the shade side is going to have a little bit darker fruit, a little bit pinker fruit. Look at this branch. Oh, my God, these are absolutely beautiful. And look down in here. So let me see if I can get inside the tree. All right, here we go. Now you guys can see actually how much fruit that these produce, and they're big. Every single one of these grapefruits is absolutely enormous in size. Wow, that one just came off in my hand. So I'm actually going to go in this tree because this tree is large enough to where you can get into the interior. Oh my gosh. All right, so yeah, now you can see where all the actual fruit is. Look at this beautiful fruit. All the way around the tree, too. Just clusters and clusters. Look at this, the entire inside of this tree is absolutely covered in fruit, laying on the ground. Look at this, big old 5-pack. Oh my gosh, and look at the size of the branches. I want to show you guys this. So that branch that's holding this is about 1/4 of an inch. That is about the size of a pencil. Okay, and it is holding these 5 gigantic grapefruits. Oh my gosh, just everywhere you look. Look at this. Oh, that's the heaviest one so far. Wow. Good Lord. This is just amazing. Look, you dig through here, Look at this. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, water your citrus, feed your citrus. In fact, feed all your fruit trees. That's sort of the theme. The theme of this year is get out here and give them some good water and give them some good compost. So we feed 3 times a year. Let me get back out of here. We feed 3 times a year, and we use compost. Oh my gosh, some of these are just unbelievable. We use compost to feed these, and we heavily water. Now, would I water as much as she waters? Maybe not. I mean, you see there's really no bad benefit to actually watering that much. Trees really like the water here in Arizona, especially in the summertime, and especially if you're wanting to hold these kind of fruits. I mean, like I said, these weigh quite a bit, so feel free to give your fruit trees a little bit extra water. Oh my gosh, I'm over on this side. It just never ends. Like, I do not think a person could eat all the grapefruits on this tree, but the idea is to have extra so that you can give them away, or you can store them as juice. Oh my gosh. But this is the idea. This is the kind of fruit that we are wanting to get off of these trees. I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of these, and I'm gonna cut this open. Let's see how it looks inside. All right, so I got one of these grapefruits down. Let's cut it open here and let's do the little reveal. What's it gonna look like inside? Is it going to be dry or is it going to be juicy? All right, let's take a look. Oh man. Boop. Wow. Wow. Absolutely beautiful, seedless grapefruit, pink grapefruit. Wow. Definitely cannot hold both of these in my hand at the same time. Let me try here. Look. There we go. What a beautiful piece of fruit. And I tell you, these are sweet. These are very much like candy. I can just eat these. I don't need to put sugar on them or do anything additional to eat these beautiful fruit. But these, wow, look at that. Absolutely beautiful color, beautiful flesh, and like I said, very sweet. And you can always juice these and save the juice in the freezer. That's a good way to store extra juice if you've got extra citrus, because I know it is hard to eat a lot of these fruits when they're all pretty much ripe at one time. But man, that is absolutely beautiful, stunning piece of fruit, and that is dense. That weighs quite a bit. I don't have a scale here to weigh one of these, but absolutely beautiful. Oh man, I can taste it without tasting it. All right, guys. That is it for today. I just wanted to do a quick little video on citrus and grapefruits and watering and compost. Okay, so I do water quite a bit. I don't water quite as much as she does. I water every other day in the summertime, and then I water every 4 days in the winter time as we start to cool down. It seems like my yard really works good with that schedule. But like I said, she waters these quite a bit, and there really is no ill effect other than the byproduct of all this extra fruit. And then as far as feeding goes, we use compost. We always have compost available all year long, but the best time to put them on is coming up here real soon, here in the middle of February. That is the time to start to feed your fruit trees. So if you're wanting really good juicy fruit, you're going to want to water these extra, like I said. So water is very important. And if you're wanting really good flavors and nutrient density, that's where the feeding comes in on your fruit trees. Okay, I know a lot of people like to get that Arizona's Best granular citrus food and just kind of throw it on their citrus trees and kind of hope for the best. But I'm telling you guys, I would do it a more organic way, and you'll get a lot of earthworms as well, which are going to obviously be the ones that feed the tree in the future, because it's their earthworm poop that eventually will feed the trees and give you this excellent fruit. But yeah, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable what can be achieved with just a little bit extra food and water. So whatever you're doing now, I think you probably safely double it as far as feeding and watering them, because man, I've never seen anything like this one. This is the most fruit per tree that I've seen, and there's quite a few trees over here that we have planted and will eventually bear just as much fruit. There's a lemon over here that is pretty much on the same program now, and you can see that there's just quite a bit of fruit. There's thorns in here, so I don't really want to get too stabbed, but you can see that these are absolutely full of lemons. Like, look at this. Beautiful. And the colors, the skin is a beautiful yellow and a beautiful pink blush on those pink grapefruits. But yeah, this isn't even a very large tree, and he is completely full of lemons. Wow, look at this. Oh, let me get over here on this side. Oh man, yeah, just absolutely beautiful fruit. Perfect lemons. And like I said, this is not even a very large tree yet. But good grief. Guys, this is amazing. This is exactly what you're wanting. So good food, good water. Come pick up some compost from the nursery. We always have it available. Oh man. And it's just amazing what you can achieve with a little bit of care and a little bit of food and water. All right, guys, that is it for today. That is grapefruits and lemons, and how productive things can be if you actually feed and water them correctly. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you for watching.